प्राणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। गुकारो अन्धकारो वै ऋकारस्तन्निवर्तकः अन्धकारनिरोधित्वात् गुरुरित्यभिधीयते। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैः सुष्ठुवांसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। So we are studying Māṇḍūkya Upaniṣad. The word Upanishad signifies a lot. First of all, it is directly pointing to a human being that it is your goal. The word Upanishad is talking about the human goal. In fact, the prime goal of a human being. Purushartham, achieved definitely by a human being while living. It's pointing out somebody which is obvious. And we are missing the obvious. When something is already existing within oneself, and somebody is missing to see due to certain misunderstanding about the object, then somebody should make him to see that. We call it recognition. I recognize myself by the guidance of the Guru and the teachings of Upanishad. Recognized thing will be our human goal, which is already an accomplished fact. No need to put effort other than discovering. So the role of the Guru is to point out that you are taking yourself something what is not you are. You have to see yourself that really who you are. The teachings of the Upanishad is nothing but the reality of the entire universe and also the reality of the individual living being. Thus, Upanishad have only one subject matter called self-knowledge or knowledge about Brahman. The biggest thing. This is called Brahman. Self is the biggest thing in the universe, which is the locus of the entire creation, due to which everything become as though sentient. In real, they are inert, insentient. So Upanishad have only one subject matter, self-knowledge or Jiva Ishvara Ekatva Jnanam, the knowledge which will be helpful for a person to identify oneself who is non-separate from the Lord and the universe. So, among the Upanishads, a simple Upanishad which has, in terms of its verses, which is very, very less, very small Upanishad. But the subject being Jiva Ishvara Ekatva Jnanam, the self-knowledge, like all other Upanishads. The same subject matter is revealed in a different way. Every Upanishad have a different way of approaching the reality. And this Upanishad, making a person who is really a seeker of oneself, make them understand what is the reality of an individual by analyzing the three states which are very familiar as a human being. Thus, the waking state, the dream state, which are very much familiar as an individual. The waking state where the subject-object division is there. The duality is perceived and accepted by an individual. The objects are different. The person who enjoys the object is different from all the things which he enjoys. So there is a division. There is a separation in the waking state. In waking state, the enjoyer desires certain objects and he enjoys the objects which is different from him. Jagrata avastha in Sanskrit, waking state. And we studied the person who appears or the person's limit, which is waking state. That person is called Vishvaha Vaishvanaraha. Then we comes to dream state. We saw what is dream state. Whatever things we have enjoyed in this birth, in the waking state, whatever things we heard from others in this birth, apart from that, my desires, my wantings, my own impressions which are accumulated from the last births, everything will be manifested in the form of in another universe where there is no external organs work. Only the mind will work. The mind will divided into three. The object, the enjoyer of the object, the enjoyment of the object. Triputi bhavam apnoti. Divided into itself into three. And it creates a different world inside the mind. According to the desires which are kept inside, according to the impressions which are kept inside, according to the things which you have listened, according to the things which you have saw, all these things are put together and a dream is created inside our subtle body. Thus, the consciousness which is named as Vishwaha in the waking state will get another designation called Taijasaha, an appellation which is the same person who appeared in the waking state. Thus, Taijasaha, the person who enjoys the dream, who create another universe inside the body, subtle body, inside the mind. Thus, he enjoys, he creates the things, he or she enjoys the things, and he fold all the things into himself or herself. This is called Supna Avastha, dream state, waking state, and dream state. And we studied according to the Upanishad's teachings like 17 faces, 7 limbs, and getting a name, etc., etc. Now we have to study the third state, which is also very important in the systematical study. Thus, deep sleep state is being introduced by the Upanishad. I will read the mantra first, the verse first, then I will explain you what is the content of the mantra and relevant facts of Bhashya, the commentator, Bhashyakara, we will discuss. I will read the 5th verse of the Upanishad. Yatra suptaha na kanchana kamam kamayate na kanchana supnam pashyati tat sushuptam sushuptasthanaha eki bhutaha prajnanaganaha eva anandamayaha hi anandabuk cheto mukaha prajnaha tritiyah pataha. Yatra, once more I will read for the sake of understanding. Yatra suptaha na kanchana kamam kamayate na kanchana supnam pashyati tat sushuptam sushuptasthanaha yegi bhutaha prajnanaganaha eva anandamayaha hi anandabuk cheto mukaha prajnaha tritiyah pataha. The third quarter, don't forget, Upanishad introduces there are 4 quarters, and it starts to analyze. First quarter is waking state, second quarter is dream state, and the third quarter is deep sleep state. But Upanishad starts in a different way with an adjectival clause. Where, starting with yatra, where, suptaha, the sleeper who is in deep sleep, one who is sleeping without knowing anything. By suptaha, there are 2 ways of understanding suptaha, which we will discuss. Now, for the time being, suptaha, in order to give a name, like in the waking state, Vishwaha, in the dream state, Taijasaha. Similarly, we have another name here, Prajna, Prakarshena Ajna, not knowing anything. And he is Suptaha, who is sleeping. One who is sleeping. And what is the clause says? Where there is no desires about the objects, it means that there is no experiences like in the waking state. In the waking state, we deal with the different objects which we have desires to do. Thus, we perform our activities. The object and the desires will prompt the activities. So, where there is yatra suptaha na kanchana kamam kamayade. Where there is no desires to enjoy the objects. Na kanchana kamam kamayade. So, excluding the waking state. Or where there is no real experiences like waking state. Then, yat na kanchana supnam pashyati. There is no dream. Na kanchana supnam pashyati. There is no dream. What is in the dream we used to do? We used to create a different universe from the experiences we have gone through the waking state and objects. And we create a different universe according to our impressions, which are kept inside the mind as carbon copies of experiences of waking state. And our desires will also become the fertilizer to see the dream. And there is no dream at all. When it says like that, 2 states which already we discussed, that states, apart from that states, we are in a new state where there is no that type of experiences, what we enjoyed in the waking state and in the dream state. Then, that's sushuptam, that's called a deep sleep. Easily it is told like that. See, yatra suptaha na kanchana kamam kamayade, adjective will close. says about the first waking state up to this, na kanchana supnam pashyadi, where there is no dream, this is the state of deep sleep. Tat sushuptam pashyadi, na kanchana supnam pashyadi, where there is no dreams are seen, where there is no dreams at all. And that is the state of deep sleep. Tat sushuptam. Sushupta sthanaha, introducing the third quarter. Sushupta sthanaha, the state of deep sleep. Yeki bhutaha, that's this is also an adjective for the Sushupta sthana. Yeki bhutaha. What is meant by Yeki bhutaha? Yeki bhutaha means unified, all together. What are the things all together? The objects which we have enjoyed in the waking state and the experiences we have gone through the waking state will become mental modifications, nothing but the forms of thoughts. All these things are now in the form of mental modification. When I see a pot outside, the pot will register in my consciousness in the form of a thought. It is being kept inside. This is called mental modification. Our consciousness will become in the form of a thought, gadakara vritti. This mental modification is the cause for dream. Lot of mental modifications already occurred in this birth also, in the previous births also. That is why in our daily experiences, even though my father and mother don't have any fear on dogs, but I will have total fear towards the dogs of the street. When I walk, I will be very much insecure when I see a dog. My father and mother don't have any fear towards the cockroaches. But when I see a cockroach, I feel insecure due to their impurity and due to their shape of the body. It is how it is in the creation. Why should I hate? But my own vasanas, impressions, make me to act differently from from my father and mother. These are all the impressions, very important. They are also experiences and the object, the connection with the object, everything all put together. We saw a dream. Dream is also nothing but the objects appeared in the waking state are now in the form of thoughts. So everything is in the form of mental modification without any discrimination. Indiscrimination and non-differentiation. I don't feel any type of different from the thing which I am enjoying is separate. I don't feel that. Thus, non-differentiation and indiscrimination. There is no these two facts regarding the thoughts. That is why it is called Eki Bhudaha, unif. Then there will be a doubt in the mind of the listener. Everything altogether means whether we will lose to think about the pot when we wake up, or we will lose to think about a snake after the deep sleep state when we come to waking state. No, retaining their characteristics, they are all merged into one. There is no losing their characteristics. They are all together now. All our mental modifications are not having an individual way of understanding. Thus, all are put together. All are now unified without losing its own characteristics. And they are not known also due to the ignorance. Enveloped by the ignorance, I am not knowing anything separate from me or from the consciousness. All the mental modifications are unified. This is called Yegi Bhutaha. Then Prajnana Ganaha. What is meant by Prajnana Ganaha? The mass of consciousness. Because there is no thoughts one after another. All are together. Mass consciousness. Prajnana Ganaha. The consciousness which appeared in the waking state and the experiences and the objects which are in the form of mental modification is not there at all. The consciousness which divided into three when it comes to the state of dream, object, the enjoyer of the object, the enjoyment. This division is not known because ignorance is the main theme of deep sleep state. Nothing is known. When you enter into a room which is packed with different things and goods, for the time being, there is no power. And I cannot see anything. It's very dark. I say there is nothing inside. Everything is covered by the darkness. Indiscrimination and non-differentiation. There is no way of understanding everything separately. This is the fact which we appear inside the deep sleep. But nothing is lost. Retaining its own features, it is merged inside the ignorance. It is not known due to ignorance. Prajnana Kanaha, then Eva Anandamaya. He is Anandamaya. The word Anandam means literally happiness. But here we cannot take granted it is happy. There is no happiness in real, in deep sleep state. But there is a non-separateness due to ignorance. Where there is no object, where there is no an individual who is putting effort to achieve that object, where there is no miseries, I am unaware of my body. I am unaware about the incident happened yesterday, which was so sad. I am not aware of anything. Everything is unified. There is no effort to achieve a particular thing in deep sleep. All these factors make me to say Anandamaya. Really speaking, there is no subject-object division in the deep sleep. And also, which we are not realizing there is something other than me. Even though from the standpoint of reality, there is no subject-object division, but the waking state and the dream state, we have this fake division, which I am the enjoyer and I have an object of enjoyment. This is called subject-object division, which is not known inside the deep sleep state. Thus, when there is no division, there is no effort, the mind feel a state of effortless idea. There is no effort in the deep sleep. Thus, I feel that I am happy because compared to waking state, there is no effort in the deep sleep state. Thus, I say I am happy. That is why when I wake up from the bed, I slept very happily. No disturbances of car, no phone calls from my boyfriend, no other disturbances from my cat, no other disturbances other than some humming of my AC. I slept very well. Really speaking, not knowing the separateness from the world, from the body, and also I am not aware of the miseries because my mind is not working, my body is not working. How can I identify these miseries and sadness? So I say in the sleep, I am completely happy. This is not the ultimate happiness which we have to see according to the Upanishad's teaching. When you know that you are free from the death and birth cycle, I am this Atman, the Brahman, who is free from all kinds of notions. That is called real happiness. Here the happiness is non-discrimination, due to non-discrimination, no to indiscrimination and non-differentiation. This is called Anandamaya, one who is predominantly free from division and miseries because sense organs are not working and also we are not aware of where we are sleeping, who are sleeping along with me, what I have eaten, what I am going to get after waking up. Nothing is aware. That's why I say I slept very well. If any type of information is there, it's not sleep at all. So that is why prajnana ghanaha. Then after prajnana ghanaha, eva anandamayaha, ananda book. Predominantly where there is no division, there will be always the absence of sorrow and miseries. That is why Ananda book. There is no division. There is no way of seeing the miseries. Then it is free from all kinds of miseries. Then it is called Anandamayaha. It is not the bliss which is infinite. That is to be understood properly. Infinite bliss is something which you enjoy 24 into 7 after studying, not due to somebody's, we are near to somebody, we are happy. When we are away from somebody also, we are happy. That enjoyment is not, we are talking as the ultimate bliss. Ultimate bliss is in spite of any object near to you or any object away from you. You are happy. Heya ubadeyatvat. Nothing to take inside the mind in order to become happy. Nothing to give up from the mind in order to make happy. That is the samsaric way of living. Nothing wrong on that. So here it is mentioned, it is not the infinite bliss. It is the bliss which is enjoyed when there is no subject-object division. It is the bliss which is there in the entire Sushupti Avastha, in the deep sleep state. Sushupta Sthanaha, because it's all covered by the ignorance. Nothing is aware of. Sushupta Sthanaha, Prajnana Ghanaha, Anandamayaha, Anandabuk, Cheto Mukaha. This is the face to the entrance of waking state and deep sleep state, dream state. Waking state being the face, in order to understand properly the waking state, in order to understand properly the dream state, this state will be making the person after the sleep to wake up and go to that state. Thus, Cheto Mukaha, which make us understand what is Jagrat, what is Sopnam, what is waking state, what is dream state. Okay. Cheto Mukaha, and there is a name called Prajnaha, understanding nothing. In the deep sleep state, you don't see anything. You don't experience anything. That is why the adjectival clause is very important when it introduces the deep sleep state, where there is no object to desires and to enjoy the object. There is no intention or desires, and also where there is no enjoyment of the subtle things in the subtle body, as it was there like a dream state, where there is no sopna, nothing is there to see. And that adjectival clause is going to complete after saying this. Apart from the Jagrada Avastha, apart from the Swapna Avastha, there exists a third place called Prajnaha. There is no way of understanding the things as they are in the creation. Nobody knows who is sleeping near to them in the deep sleep state. Why? Organs are not working. Even the individual organs are not, inside organs are not working. That's why deep sleep state, you cannot have a dealing. Anybody can scold you, but you don't react towards them. Why? You don't have any aware of where you are sleeping, what you are doing, everything. So that prajnaha, one who is completely under the ignorance, prajna, that is called Cheto Mukha, whose faces are sentient. And Tritiya Pataha. What is meant by Tritiya Pataha? Third quarter. We already started seeing the quarter by quarter. Like once you divide a dollar or a rupee into four different parts and they are having equal value. So one by one you collect in order to make a proper coin. Similarly, here, Tritiya Padaha, the first pada being waking state, we introduced, Upanishad itself says that. The second state, which is dream, we already introduced you. Now, Tritiya Padaha, the third quarter, where the things are inside the ignorance, which are not identified separately from the subject and from the object and the enjoyment. Triputi Bhavam is not there. And we cannot see anything inside or outside the body. We are under deep sleep. And this verse have Shankara has bit explained about the words. For example, I told you, Suptaha. Suptaha is a person who was appearing as the waking state owner or dream state owner. Similarly, the same person is appearing in the form of Supta. One thing, we give a name which is different from others, it is only for the identification for the others. This is the prime usage of a name. Others can also call me in this name, because world have a lot of names like me. I am here only with one name. Nobody don't have. So I can identify myself like those others also identified themselves. That's Subtaha. Another thing is, when there is already a mentioned order called four padas, four legs are there, we need to connect with a person who is connected with these teachings. And the third pada will have a name called Suptaha, one who is sleeping. And the common thing in these three states are not knowing the reality. In the waking state also, there is no way of understanding the reality, who is behind all these three states. And a dream state also doesn't have the capacity to know the reality. And deep sleep state, there also we don't have discrimination and differentiation. So we don't have the knowledge about the self or the real fact. That is why Suptaha, where there is no organs are working, the purpose being there, the third individual is been introduced in the name of Prajna Suptaha, and Suptaha have two different meaning, way of understanding. One thing is that it is free from all kinds of knowledge, like those two avastha. Waking state doesn't have a proper knowledge, and also dream state also don't have any proper knowledge. It happens. But in the Sukta Sthane, everything all put together. Still there is no recognizing anything separately. Once you wake up, only the things you will understand what are the things around me and what are the things to do. Everything you start to think. Up to that, there is no thinking, there is no pattern of thoughts. So that prakarsheda ajnaha, not knowing anything apart from the sukshma sharira, which will be appearing in the before the moment you go to sleep and after the moment you wake up. In between, there is no idea about what is there. This is called supta. One meaning. The second meaning is that suptaha is a person who appears among the deep sleep state like others. When there is Jagrata Avastha, it got the name Vishwaha. When there is Supna Avastha, there we got the name Taijasaha. And the third place, Sushuptistanaha, and have the very good name called Prajnaha, who is who is who is not recognizing the division because division is not there. Thus, Supta have two different way of understanding, and the whole the padas are being introduced. The four legs. Jagradam, Suptam, Sushupti. These three legs is impossible without another leg to move. Whether it is a dog or a cow, whether it is a lion or a tiger, nobody can move fast as a four-legged guy. So, fourth leg is also introduced in the next verse. For the sake of the continuity, it is also named as third quarter. And in this quarter, we'll have the deep sleep state performer, and his name is Prajnaha. Unconsciousness, or not knowing anything from the standpoint of reality. He is called Supta, who is under deep sleep. Supta. There is no things coming to the Prajnaha from the deep sleep. There is no things coming from the waking state to the Prajnaha, because Prajna is different from both waking state and deep sleep state. There is no connection between Vishwa and Prajna. There is no connection between Taijasa and Prajna, one who is enveloped by the darkness. And here it is told here, Ananda book, Cheto Mukaha. Ananda book, compared to a person who is under misery, in the night, he will not feel any kind of dukkha. There will be no misery at all. Go to sleep early without joining a company. Then you feel more secure while sleeping properly. It's the main thing. The sleep should be at least for 6 hours. Somebody can have 8 hours, everything. But the Suptaha is different from others. There is no dream. There is no external or external thing coming into contact. There is no division. There is no separation. Everything is mine. That is what being told here. Yatra Sushuptaha, not Sushupta, Yatra Yatha Vishwaha Tada Taijasaha Binnaha Sushuptakara, Prajna. Where there is experiences and enjoyment in the person who is sleeping, will not have any kind of enjoyment receiving from the world of duality. He is just sleeping unaware of himself and his body. Thus, Sushuptaha stand one step forward than any other two, because Sushupta is Anandamaya. That is why people used to go to sleep and come back laughing, They are enjoying that sleep. That is the fact. And this is called the Prajna Avastha, when it becomes Prajna. And this is the third leg. For example, if you imagine the Māṇḍūkya Upaniṣad as a cow, the third leg are brought into. Now we have to bring the fourth quarter. Even though the fourth quarter has been introduced by the Upanishad, one should not take that what I have experienced through this person, that meditation, prayers, etc., the same thing is going to have an experience in the Swarna, and in the deep sleep. So, deep sleep state is different from two other states, and all three states are going to be accounted as a state, but the fourth quarter, the fourth pada, is not at all a state, but it is something different. From the known to the unknown, it's a formal accounting. When the three states are introduced, along with that, the reality is also introduced, which is not a state, which is the intrinsic nature of a human being. That is called the fourth quarter, Turiya. We will see what is Turiya. Even though after the third quarter, they don't say Turiya. It won't say the Turiya, but it will see the clarity. It will show the entire vision. The person who is sleeping inside the deep sleep state, he is different. He has some specific features which is being told here in the next verse. Verse number 6. Eshaha sarveshwaraha, Eshaha sarvajnaha, Eshaha antaryami, Eshaha yonihi, sarvasya prabhava apyayau hi bhutana. Eshaha, once more I will read. Eshaha sarveshwaraha, Eshaha sarvajnaha, Eshaha antaryami, Eshaha yonihi, sarvasya prabhava apyayau hi bhutana. The person, Eshaha, in the Sanskrit, the Eshaha word is a pronoun. He, or the person who is very near to me, is called Eshaha. When the Upanishad introduces like Eshaha means something which is very near to me, because my own nature is very much near to me than any other thing in the world. So here it is told, Eshaha Sarveshwaraha. This person who is named Prajnaha, who appears in the deep sleep state, that person is Sarveshwaraha, all-knowing entity, who is all-mighty. Sarva Ishvaraha, the entity, the Lord of everything what we experience inside the creation. Sarveshwaraha, Sarvanam Ishvara. What are the things we are enjoying, we are experiencing in this world? This Prajnaha, one who is in the deep sleep state, is Sarveshwaraha, Almighty. Everything, whatever we enjoy here, whatever we have listened from the about the heaven or any other worlds, all the things are being kept under control by this person who is appearing inside the deep sleep state. Yeshaha Sarveshwaraha, who can protect everything, who can guide everything, whose karmapala is always infallible. Definitely, the karmapala will be consumed by the respective living beings. If you do noble things, noble events and experiences will come in one's life. If you do evil things in your daily life, evil experiences and evil conditions and evil situations will be our daily experiences. This is the beauty of karma because of this Sarvajna, all-knowing entity, who protects everything, who sustains everything, Sarveshwaraha. The Prajna is not an ordinary person. Remember that Prajna is not different from the Vishwa and the Taijasa. The same entity is appearing in the form of Prajna, and this Prajna is called the protector of the entire universe. Yesha Sarvajnaha, who is all-knowing. In order to create anything, the person should know about what he is going to create. When we create a crow inside our mind, we already noticed the part of the crows, a part of a crow. Beak, legs, wings, throat, color, everything we notice. That's why we create inside the mind. This Prajna is not an ordinary guy who resides in one body. He knows everything to create the entire world. And also, Yeshaha Antaryami. This Sarvajna is the resider inside the body. Antari Vartade, the Antaryami. One who always resides inside the body is called Antaryami. And he is Antaryami. And it is also told here, Yonihi. Yoni means the part of origination, where from where everything comes into being. So Prajna is not an ordinary thing. That consciousness which appears inside the deep sleep state, who is also appeared in the dream state in the form of Taijasaha, who appeared in the form of Vishwaha in the waking state, the same entity, and it has some features like Sarvajnaha, Sarvashaktiman, Sarveshwaraha, and Antaryami. who resides in every living beings, not only in me, inside the rock, inside the cow. When we say all pervading means, that itself will close the chapter. Everything is included when we say all pervasive. Even without a cell, it will occupy without leaving a cell. Everywhere it will be there. And also it is formless. When somebody is formless like water, you can take the water inside the glass and it can be in the shape of glass. If you take in a pot, the water will be in the form of a gataha pot. That's why from the freezer, when we take ice creams, they open the mold and they will take the ice. The ice, previously it was some water or milk, and which got a desired form according to the mold. Similarly, when something is formless, it will get all kinds of forms. Antaryami, one who resides in each and every living being. Yonihi, one who is the place of origination of the entire universe. Yonihi. This word is being discussed in Brahma Sutra. Shastra Yonitvad 113, the third sutra of Brahma Sutra. Shastra Yonitvad. And two-way commentator explains that. Shastram yasya yonihi, from where the Shastra comes, and also Shastrasya in Shastram yasya yonihi means from where we get the idea about the thing. And it is in the tradition, these Upanishads being the place of origination of the Paramatman's understanding or knowledge, and Shastrasya Yoni, from where the Shastra originates. Thus, two-way Yoni is being explained properly in Brahma Sutra. Here, Yoni, from which everything comes into being. This is called the place of origination. Sarvasya Prabhava Apyayau. Entire universe from where it is originated from and unto which everything get resolved or merged. Prabhavam and Apyayam. Prabhavam, origination. Apyayam, resolution, merging. Unto which everything get merged, from which everything appeared. So Prajna is not an ordinary person. The consciousness which appears inside the deep state, the same entity who is appearing as Taijasa and Vishwa is not an ordinary guy. And Upanishad is not embellishing or exaggerating the individual, There is no exaggeration by the Upanishad. Upanishad don't want your vote in election or exaggerating you, oh, you are looking beautiful, or you have a lot of abilities, and you are like that, you are like that. Upanishad don't want anybody to be favored with that. Upanishad is talking the reality of an individual. What is that in real? The consciousness which is occurring inside the body is nothing. It is the source of all kinds of origination and creation, and it is the source unto which everything get merged. Prabhavam and Apyayam. From where it originates, the universe, unto which the universe get merged. Prabhavam and Apyayam happens in this Prajnaha, the consciousness who got the name Prajnaha when it appears inside the deep sleep state. And we are seeing this experience in our daily life. Early morning, we wake up. I forget to mention you, there is a word called Cheto Mukaha in the previous verse. That word is also important. Cheto Mukaha means the sentient Cheta. In the two states, we are aware of the division, subject-object division. I experience different objects. In dream also, I experience different things. Both are coming out from the prajna only, Cheto Mukaha. Because of prajna, these two states seems to be sentient. The opening of these two states, Cheto Mukaha. Here, Prabhava Apyayav, come to this verse. Prabhavam, the origination. Apyayam, the merging, resolution. The destination and the place where everything comes out into being. And unto which everything gets resolved. Sarvasya, hi bhutana. Everything should be involved in that. And we have a small experience of that. Morning, we will go to our respective jobs in the waking state. And the evening after a good food, we will have a good sleep or good dream. Then afterwards, everything gets resolved. I don't know whether I am with a body or where I am sleeping. I don't have any idea. Everything will be enveloped in the ignorance. Due to the ignorance, which is a common fact in three states, I don't know about my real nature. It is common in three states. But there is a subject-object division in the waking state and the dream state, which is called a projection from the ignorance. But in prajna, there is no projection. Instead of projection, everything is under cover, enveloped by the ignorance. So, even though in three states the reality is nothing is understood and there is no understanding of the real nature, here we will see the common features of the person who is appearing as Vishwa, Taijasa, and the Prajna. It is the source of all thinking, all things coming to being, and it is the source where all things get resolved. And it is the Almighty, it is the all-pervading, it is the person who protects the entire creation. And Prajna is not an ordinary consciousness. He is the resource of the entire creation. Prajna is being equated to the consciousness, and in reality, it is the fact. More we will continue in the next class. Om Susti Prajabhya Paripalayantam Nyayena Margena Mahim Mahishaha Gobrahmanebhya Shupamastu Nityam Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Kale Varshadu Parjanyaha Prithvi Sasya Shadini Desho Yaksho Parahitaha Brahmana Santu Nirbhayaha Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayaha Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet Asato Ma Satgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya Om Purnamatav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamataya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om.